Hello everyone, my name is Patrick Berry. Welcome to my little presentation. I'm happy to be able to kick off our English 330 oral presentations on They Say, I Say. I'm going to be looking at the introduction, which is entitled Entering the Conversation. The authors contend that there are basic forms or templates that underlie all successful academic writing. These are templates which exist, and sometimes we're not aware of them, but they're there all the same. The most important and basic template is They Say, I Say itself. So let's take a look and see what that is. The best academic writing is one person's response to the ideas, opinions, statements of another. So we have one person putting forth an idea or an opinion, and another person responds to it. They agree, they disagree, or perhaps both at the same time. So you have this conversation, and that's the very basis of the They Say, I Say relationship. Logical, well-supported, and consistent writing is not enough, according to our authors. Writing gains importance and value when you're entering into a new exchange, when you're bringing your critical thinking, your voice to the table in this new conversation. When I first heard of the topic, the work that came to mind right away was Thoreau's Walden, especially the chapter titled Economy, which I believe illustrates wonderfully the They Say, I Say concept in a very accomplished form, and also helps reinforce the author's point that using a prescribed form, this kind of template, surely doesn't stifle creativity at all. They Say, I Say in Walden basically involves the they is the mass of men, the common people, conventional wisdom, conservative thinking, in the box kind of thinking, backward looking, fearful kind of attitude. On the other hand, I Say, which is Thoreau, is forward looking, it's optimistic, he's positive, and for him the world is full of possibility, at least in his writing. So we're going to look at three passages, all direct quotes from Walden, and see how I Say, They Say, I Say plays out. When we consider what, to use the words of the Catechism, is the chief end of man, and what are the true necessaries and means of life, it appears as if men had deliberately chosen the common mode of living because they preferred it to any other. Yet they honestly think there is no choice left. So we have ways of thinking and doing, what we think is important in life, how to live, and we think that's the way it is. There's no choice. So we're stuck in this rut, and there we go. On the other hand, the I Say of Thoreau, but alert and healthy natures remember that the sun rose clear. It is never too late to give up our prejudices. No way of thinking or doing, however ancient, can be trusted without proof. What everybody echoes or in silence passes by as true today may turn out to be falsehood tomorrow, mere smoke of opinion, which some had trusted for a cloud that would sprinkle fertilizing rain on their fields. So Thoreau's I Say says the sun rose clear. We can think for ourselves. Uh, we don't have to be bound by the past. We don't have to think the same way they used to or do the same things they used to just because that's the way it's always been done. Okay, on to our second passage. One farmer says to me, "You cannot live on vegetable food solely, for it furnishes nothing to make bones with," and so he religiously devotes part of his day to supplying the system with the raw material of bones. This farmer says, you can't live on vegetables. Uh, Vegetables furnish nothing to make bones with, so he needs to spend a lot of time and energy probably raising livestock to supply meat for his table. And now let's look at Thoreau's I Say in this case. Walking all the while, he talks behind his oxen, which, with vegetable-made bones, jerk him and his lumbering plow along in spite of every obstacle. So, Thoreau's I Say, he wants this farmer to look up, open his eyes, and take a look at who's pulling him and his plow along very easily, which is probably a pair of oxen and Their bones are made purely from plant material, no meat involved. Okay, on to our last passage. The whole ground of human life seems to some to have been gone over by their predecessors, both the heights and the valleys, and all things to have been cared for. According to Evelyn, the wise Solomon prescribed ordinances for the very distances of trees, and the Roman praetors have decided how often you may go into your neighbor's land to gather the acorns which fall in it without trespass, and what belongs to that neighbor. Hippocrates has even left directions how we should cut our nails, that is, even with the ends of the fingers, neither shorter nor longer. Undoubtedly, the very tedium and ennui which presume to have exhausted the variety and the joys of life are as old as Adam. So, some people think life's been set out for us. There's nothing new under the sun. Uh, we've been told the rules. We've been told how far apart to plant our trees. We've been told how to cut our fingernails. And that's the way it is. Let's look at Thoreau's I Say. But man's capacities have never been measured, nor are we to judge of what he can do by any precedents, so little has been tried. Whatever have been thy failures hitherto, be not afflicted, my child, for who shall assign to thee what thou hast left undone? So Thoreau says, we have no idea what man's even capable of. So little has been tried that the possibilities are endless. Quite a contrast to the sentiment of they say in this case. Okay, on to our references, and we'll sum up by saying that hope you have enjoyed the presentation, and hope I've been able to show you how I think Thoreau is a wonderful general example of they say I say in its finest form. Thank you for listening.